Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Lori. I wanted to do a video today on a download that I received from my guides while sitting in my car this morning. Today is December 25th, 2018. So again, like I said in my last video, regardless of what day it is that you're listening to this and receiving this information, just know that it is the perfect time for you to hear the message that came through for me today. And many of you will be watching this in the next couple of days prior to 2019. It's a really potent time right now. And the message I received was regarding this Christ consciousness that is inundating the planet today. And that is going to increase while we get closer and closer to this new year that we're stepping into and what's happening to us. Both physically, emotionally, and mentally right now. So for those of you that are new to my channel, welcome. Glad you're here. I channel light beings, all different types of light beings. I bring them in. I translate basically the information from them to all of you and to my clients. So I connect my clients to their star families, to their families of light, to their guides. And I bring forth information and remembrances and activations and all of that good stuff. So this information came in today, dropped in, and I want to share it with you. It really impacted me. Today is December 25th, and so when I was tapping into what that meant and what I was feeling, what I heard was there is a huge amount of I'll say this, there is a calling within all of us right now, or many of us right now, of going inward and reconnecting with the aspect of us that is our divinity, the aspect of us that is our light, the aspect of us that came down originally and encompassed this physical form. And there are all different types of words that you can use for it. It's a light body, because it is a body in light. It's a light body inside the physical form. It also holds a spark of the oneness that we all are, which is source, right? Which is unity, love, the divine within every single one of us. And this can also be called Christ consciousness. It is a consciousness which reminds us of our divinity. So when I think about Christ consciousness, and I think about Jesus walking the planet, or any other beautiful master that walked the planet teaching us who we are, reminding us to go back in and find the divine within us, it's a Christ consciousness. And you can call it whatever you want to call it. Okay, it doesn't really matter. But what it is coming back home to who we really are in a third dimensional matrix that's shifting into a fourth dimensional matrix that's shifting into a fifth dimensional matrix. So we've got this aspect of us that we are being drawn back down into to remember. And as we are doing this right now, especially in the next 6 days, we're preparing ourselves to move into a higher state of consciousness, to literally live continuously in a higher state of consciousness, which means that we're clearing out the aspects of us that are holding us back from reconnecting to this divine aspect of us. Christ consciousness, unity consciousness, oneness, love, source, whatever you want to call it, the light of you, right? It really doesn't matter as long as you know. And I'm moving into my heart because that's where I feel it. That's where I feel that divine spark. That's what I like to call it, a spark of my divinity. And what is happening is there's all this talk around, coming back into that love aspect of you, moving into that heart center, remembering the divine within you, the divinity that you are. There's all this talk about it, but what does it really mean? How do you really do that? What does that actually feel like? And one of the things that came through today was as we begin to be pulled into this crevice, this aspect of us, this divinity within us, imagining ourselves moving through this cave, we are also at the same time pushing aspects of us out of the way that has restricted us or held us back from touching that divine aspect of us, from just touching the surface of that Christ consciousness, the aspect of us that is everything and nothing at the same time, the aspect of us that is pure love, pure joy, pure bliss, that has no judgment, that just holds us unconditionally. The purity of us, the unconditional purity of us, that there is no right or wrong. There is no good or bad about us, right? And as we start to come into that space, pushing aspects of us away, we are literally clearing the pathway to snuggle deeper into this consciousness, this divine aspect of us. So what is happening right now in particular, and if you're watching this in 3 months or 4 months and 5 months, it's happening to you right now, because you have to remember that your higher self is always moving you to hear, listen, and receive the information and messages that you need to hear, receive, and understand right now. So when you are moving into this space more and more, and a lot of us are doing it without realizing it, right? A lot of us are moving into this divine aspect of us, this light within us, without really even knowing that we are. And what is happening is the aspects of us that have been very third dimensional, very human, that have kept us away from this piece of us is coming up. We're literally picking it up and bringing it out and saying, I'm done, right? So what's happening right now to so many of us are these core pieces of us, human aspects of us, not being loved, not being worthy, not feeling worthy, not being enough, self-hatred, loneliness, feeling this need to suffer or stay in suffering, lack mentality, whatever it is that's yours, that's a core aspect of you, meaning it has been with you for a very long time. Imagine that it has literally been a barrier between you, this third dimensional aspect of you, and this divine spark within you. And so what's happening right now, in such a beautiful way, is that we are literally getting to the core of our beingness and allowing these aspects of us that have stopped us from going directly into our purity, into our divinity. We're allowing them to be released. Sometimes this is conscious and sometimes this is conscious. So what's happening right now is these pieces of us are coming up to finally be released for the last time. So that when you step into 2019, you can be clearer, lighter. You can be more in touch with this aspect of you. What does that mean, in touch? It means you can feel it. You can experience what all these teachers are talking about. Move into your heart center. Move into your heart center. What does that mean? How do I do that? Move into your divine spark. Move into the Christ consciousness aspect of you, right? All these words. Move into that oneness, that unity consciousness. What the freak does that mean? How do I do that? We are doing it right now, very unconsciously, and we need to bring light to it. So what we're doing is we are literally being asked to come in. How many of you right now are feeling like you're going inward? I'm going inward. I'm going inward, right? You're going inward because your higher self is drawing you back into this one divine spark within you that is the you of you, that is the light of you, that is the divinity of you, that is an aspect of you that we all need to move into as we shift into 2019. And if you are listening to this in 2019, fabulous. We're all on different paths. at different times. There's no right or wrong. But if you're listening to this right now and this message resonates with you, then understand this is what's happening. We're being called to go inward so that we can remember and tap into this aspect of us. Oh my God, I am okay. Oh my God, I am okay. I can unconditionally be accepted. I can unconditionally start to love myself. I can unconditionally hold all the aspects of me. And when we start to do that, when we start to move into that space, which is really challenging, when we start to move into that space of, holy cow, no matter what is happening, I'm okay. Wait a second. No matter what's going on around me, there is a piece of me inside. There is a divine light inside of me. Christ consciousness, oneness, source, God, soul, whatever you want to call it. It's there. It's there no matter what. And we have to start connecting to it. And when you start connecting to it, you can imagine that you're moving through this cave. And these pieces of us that need to be released so that we can snuggle into this space more and more are being released, which means that they are coming up to the surface. What's coming up to the surface for you right now? What is it? What is it? Because I guarantee you it's been coming up for a while, probably for many, many years, right? Coming up for many, many years. And there's aspects of you that are upset and frustrated that it's coming up once more. You're tired of it. You're sick and tired of it. You don't know how to release it. You don't know how to let it go. You feel like you've been doing all this work and it's still here. And what these beautiful beings want to remind you is that this is literally kind of like the final push. It's like we've been diving and diving and diving, moving into the cave, moving into the cave, moving into the cave, getting closer and closer and closer to that divine spark without realizing that's what we were doing, getting closer to that divine spark. And pushing away, pushing away, pushing away, or clearing out, clearing out, clearing out the aspects of us that no longer serve us and that cannot serve us when we step into this new year, right? And it can be aspects of us that we peel away, we keep going, oh, here it is again. We peel away, we keep going, oh, here it is again. We peel away, we keep going. And eventually there will be a final sort of peeling away of these aspects so that we can snuggle in to the divine piece of light that we are, remembering this as we continue to move in our third dimensional, fourth dimensional, and eventually fifth dimensional reality, consciousness. But we have to learn how to get into this space and snuggle in, right? And start to breathe and start to live from this. So right now, the purpose of this video is to remind you that right now, everything that's coming up is being begged to be seen, loved, and just let go. And how do you let it go? You just honor it. You honor it. So I'll give you an example for myself. There's a huge amount of self-love that is coming up for me. It's been coming up for the last probably couple weeks, and then it's been really intense yesterday and today. Meaning, can I unconditionally love myself? Can I understand my worth? Can I understand that no matter what I've done in the past and what I'm doing right now, it's perfect, it's good enough, that I am loved no matter what. That I'm loved no matter what. I don't have to change anything. And anybody in my life absolutely 100% has to reflect that. And I will not allow people in my life that are not reflecting that truth to me. And so this piece about self-love, this piece about I am enough, this piece about I can unconditionally love myself first and foremost. I deserve that. And I deserve to give myself that. That's a huge piece that's coming up. And this morning when I was sitting in my car, they said, this is a piece that will hold you back from stepping deeper into your work and your service if you don't honor it, love it, see it, feel it, understand what's happening with it, and lovingly, consciously releasing it, letting it go, which is me saying, I feel this, I see this, this is a huge piece for me. I understand what it has done. I understand that it has held me back from deeply moving into that Christ consciousness, that light, that spark. Can I see it? Can I feel it? Can I let it go? Can I trust that when I let this go, that I actually will move into a higher version of me? What does that mean, a higher version of me? It means living in a space, in a consciousness where a belief no longer holds reality for me, which means I no longer think that I don't deserve what I want. I no longer allow people in my life that are not loving me unconditionally. I hold a deep, deep, deep love and knowingness that unconditionally I'm perfect. That unconditionally, no matter what, I'm okay. I'm perfect. Can I know, can I trust that I can step into that and that I can hold that in 2019? Because what we need to understand, and what they were trying to share with me today, was in order to step into the next highest version of ourselves, which is opening up, a huge opening in 2019, to really step into what we're here to do and to serve and to be and to connect to that light, finally really connecting to that aspect of us. We have to release and let go of these really core emotions and beliefs that are coming up right now. How clear can you get on what's coming up? Make a list. Don't be afraid of it. Don't get upset with it. Don't get angry with it. Or get angry with it. Get upset with it. Get everything, but don't toss it aside. Don't toss it aside. Hold it. Hold it for what it has done. Hold it for how it has served you. See it for what it's doing right now. And understand that it's coming up literally in front of you, so that you, your ego, your mind, your consciousness, your light can see it. I see you. I see you. I see you. I see you. And I would like to finally release so that I can move deeper into this aspect of me, so that I can tap into that light, so that I can remember. It's not easy finding our way through that dark cave to the Christ consciousness within us, to the light, to that spark of divinity. And listen, you're not going to settle into this and all of a sudden be in this divine space all the time. We're still in a third dimensional matrix. We're still in our humanness, right? But what we're going to start to do, this is the ascension process, you guys. What we're going to start to do is tap into that and then come out of it, and then tap into it and then come out of it. But you have to start to tap into it. You have to start to remember, holy cow, I am pure love. Holy cow, I actually am one with everything. What's inside of me is inside of you and you and you and you and you. Holy cow. And then 20 minutes later, you can be screaming at the person in front of you driving your car, right? Honking your horn. So it's not perfection. It's not like, oh, I'm going to find this spark. I'm going to find this Christ consciousness. I'm going to find this light inside of me. And then all of a sudden it's going to be this beautiful world. Abso-freaking-lutely not. We have to learn how to move in, touch it, and then be okay with coming out and being in this matrix again, and then coming in and touching it. But the piece that's extremely important is that it is time for us to move in and touch it. It's time for us to move in and feel it, and not just in a meditative state. Feel it when you're walking around in your everyday world. Feel it just by being you driving to get your coffee, tapping into it throughout your day. Oh yeah, that's right. I have a divine spark of light, of God, of source, of Christ inside of me. Once in a while I can feel it, because we have been excavating all of the aspects of us, the third dimensional aspects of us, the emotional traumas and pains and wounds, the beliefs, the paradigms, the programming, it has all been a facade that has kept us from remembering this aspect of us. It's kept us from moving and remembering, oh, there's this piece of me. How do I get there? How do I snuggle into that space? And so what we've been doing, unbeknownst to many of us, including myself, is we've been clearing the path through this cave, clearing the path, clearing the path. This doesn't work anymore. Nope, this doesn't serve me. Nope, this doesn't serve me. Nope, this doesn't serve me. Nope, nope, not part of me anymore. Don't want that, don't want that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're getting closer and closer and closer. So what is coming up right now for all of you is so beautiful. It should be honored. It should be loved. Be grateful for what's coming up for you right now. Be so grateful. When I was sitting in my car and I was feeling that unworthiness, right? And do I really believe that I can unconditionally love myself? And that anybody in my life is going to unequivocally, unconditionally love me? Can I hold that? And look at how I haven't felt that, right? Look at how I haven't been able to hold that. And what a gift that this is popping up for me so that I can release it by seeing it, loving it, acknowledging it, holding it into the light, and I'm choosing to say, okay, I love you so much. I appreciate this human aspect of me, but I'm going to keep going. I need you to step aside. I need to have the courage to let go and move in deeper so that I can touch the part of me that is my purity, that is my oneness, that is my divinity. Because when I move into 2019, I want to be living in a higher state of consciousness. And so this is what we're doing for our higher selves is allowing this right now. What's coming up for you? Because that is what your higher self wants you to acknowledge and clear. Your higher self can't do it. Your guides can't do it. This is where the human aspect of you has to start to take responsibility and make choices and do it. This is where the action comes in. Take action. So your higher self and your guides will do everything they can to bring this to your awareness and to your attention, always for your highest good. So one of the things they want you to understand right now is that they're patting you on the back. You're doing an amazing job. This shifting is not easy, you guys. It's not easy. It takes a huge amount of courage to look you in the eyes, to look at your aspects that you don't like, that are uncomfortable, that you wish weren't there. It takes courage to hold them up and say, I see you, I feel you, I love you, I see it, I understand it. And it takes courage to trust that if you let it go and release it, you absolutely will step into a higher version of yourself with more love, more abundance, more joy, more bliss. Right? And I can hear that there are going to be people right now that are going to listen to this and say, I've been releasing it. It's still here. I've been releasing it. It's still here. And what they want you to understand is don't judge. Try to hold all of this without judgment. Are you judging anything about the process? Are you judging how long it's taking? Are you judging that it's here again? Are you judging that you're not doing it right or fast enough? What are your judgments around it? Can you bring yourself into a neutral space? A neutral space. Imagine that you're watching a best friend or a family member going through it. And the way that you would hold that person, the way that you would watch them, the way that you would honor them, the way that you would watch it in a neutral position, meaning what they were going through and what they were sharing with you, you wouldn't judge. You would acknowledge them. You would honor them. You would love them. You would say, keep going. You're almost there, right? That's what you want to do with yourself. That's how you want to view your own process right now. is the same way that you would view your very best friend calling you up and saying, this is what I'm going through. I'm going through it again. I can't believe this. I'm having the courage to really look at it. Trust that I'm pushing it aside. Trust that I'm moving closer to that Christ consciousness, that light, that source of light within me. But it's hard. And you as a best friend would say, keep going, you're doing it. Keep going, you're doing it. Don't give up, keep going. That's what your guides want you to understand. Don't judge it. Try not to judge it. It's the judgment that really constricts the process. When we start to judge, we constrict that movement through the cave. So imagine you're going through the cave and all of a sudden an aspect of you comes up in the next couple of days, maybe yesterday, maybe today. What comes up is this feeling of not being worthy. Not being worthy of anything, right? Love, health, abundance, just really not being worthy. Here it is again, that worthiness, right? And when you judge it, here it is. I don't want to deal with it. When you judge, you push up against it. You're fighting it almost. There's a judgment around it. And so there's a fight. There's a push, right? As opposed to, there's the judgment again. Here's the judgment again. Here's the judgment again. Here's the judgment again. That's it. Here's the judgment again. You're in a neutrality around it. You just look at it. Here it is. Here it is. I'm trusting that I'm letting it go. I'm trusting that I'm letting it go. I'm trusting that I'm letting go. And eventually that unworthiness just sort of starts to expand out and you start to move through it. You start to move through it. So if this is the 18,000th time this has come up, I hear you, I get it, I'm right there with you, right? This self-love piece. Here it is again. Anger, frustration, annoyance. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? I don't know how. I don't know how. You're not supposed to know how. You don't need to know how. You just fall into it. You see it. You bump into it. You take out your judgments around it. What are your judgments around it? And then you just watch it. Self-love, self-love, self-love. Can I love myself? 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 And then you move into this, you move through it. It's very possible that I'm going to touch that core aspect of me, that light of who I am, and I'm going to ping pong back a little bit and boom, it's going to pop up again, right? I'm okay with that. I don't have any expectation. I'm not attached to anything. But I know that right now, what we are being asked to do is whatever is coming up is serving you. It is of service to you to look at it, to love it, to really see it, and to understand that the only reason it's coming up right now is so that you can clear it out of the way so that you can move closer to the aspect of you that you're trying to remember that you are. Because when you shift into a higher state of consciousness, you guys, which is a fourth dimensional aspect right now, not just shift into it every once in a while, but live in a fourth dimensional paradigm, a fourth dimensional matrix, a fourth dimensional space. To live in it constantly, you have to be connected to this light. We have to be connected to this, you guys. And it's not all the time, but we have to touch it. We have to remember it. We have to feel it. We have to know it. We have to remember it. And so we are being pushed these last couple of weeks to open up and to release so that we can tap it and feel it. Tap it and feel it. Tap it. Some of us will really snuggle in there for a while, right? And then maybe come out and then come back in and then come out. But we've got to tap it. We've got to move into it. So that is why these things are coming up right now in a much more intense way, especially today, which is the 25th, and moving the next 6 days. Intense, intense, intense. The more time you can spend alone, the better. The more time you can settle in and feel what's coming up, the better. The more uncomfortable you are, the better. The more emotion you feel, the better. Let's clear it out. Let me dive into this. We distract ourselves. We numb ourselves. We don't want to feel it. Here it comes again. Let me go watch TV. Let me go eat. Let me go hang out with people. Please, 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 please honor these moments. Give yourself time to sit in it. This is such a gift to us right now, you guys. This is a major, major gift. I'm telling you, from these beings, from your guides, from your higher self, this is a gift. To allow yourself to feel all of the emotions right now that are coming up, all the pain, all the frustration, all the anger, all the trauma, all of it. It is coming up to serve you, to honor you, to be released so that you can move into and touch the core aspect of who you are, the light of who you are, your divinity, your divine aspect. That's what we're here to do, stepping into 2019. It's a whole other version of us. Oh, wow, now I get to really tap into this. So settle in and feel it. Allow yourself to feel it. Don't be afraid of it anymore. Don't make it wrong. You know, we've all had different ways of being. We all had different paths. We all had different traumas. We've all had different lifetimes on this planet. Maybe some of us have never had a lifetime on this planet, right? But we're all doing this in our own unique way. Whatever is coming up is serving you in a way that you don't even understand right now. Please push through it. Release it. Let it be. Dive into it. Give yourself alone time. Give yourself alone time if you can before the new year. What's coming up? What's coming up? And if you're listening to this 2 months later, 3 months later, in January, February, March, April, this is the perfect divine time for you to hear this. What's coming up? And imagine yourself moving through the cave. Here it is again. And instead of judging it or numbing yourself from it or not wanting to feel it, which is basically just pushing against it, you're just going to look at it and love it and look at it and see it and feel it and whatever it is, anger, frustration, annoyance. This is it. This is it. Self-love, 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 self-love. I don't feel worthy. I don't feel worthy. I don't feel worthy. There's no attachment to it. There's no judgment to it. It just is. And then it opens, expands, releases, and you move through to get closer to this. They want you to not beat yourselves up. They want you to understand that you're doing it. That this is not for the faint of heart. This is hard work. And it's also beautiful work. And you also volunteered to be doing this. So don't forget, this is what you've been waiting for. This is what you all have been waiting for. And if you can remember that, the excitement of it, of what's to come, of what you've been waiting for. For some of you, you've lived thousands of lifetimes, hundreds of lifetimes for this now moment. So instead of looking at it as like a fear or a frustration or a pain again that you have to clear, look at it as like, oh my God, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Look what's coming up. It's clearing because I'm doing it. Every pain you feel, you're doing it. Everything that's being asked to release, you're doing it. You're shifting. This is why you're on the planet right now. This is why you're in a physical form right now, is for this, to remember this. This is not an accident. None of this is an accident. None of this is an accident. And how you are moving through it is perfect. It's exactly how you designed it. This is all divine. All of it. So don't shy away from it. Don't numb it out. Don't keep yourself so busy that you can't look at it and feel it all. Feel it all so that you can release it and step deeper into who you are and what you're here to do on the planet. You have the courage to do it. It's why you're here. It's why you're here. Your guides, your higher self, your family of light, all the beautiful beings of light, the star beings that are around you, they want you to remember. Remember, this is what you signed up for. You're doing it. So don't beat yourself up. There's nothing wrong with what you're doing. There's nothing wrong with how you're doing it. There's nothing wrong with how you're feeling. There's nothing wrong with how you're processing it. There's nothing wrong with how long it's taking. There's nothing wrong with it. Just keep going. They just want you to keep going. And please, they're saying, please, let's not beat ourselves up. This is a magical, miraculous event that we're going through. And there will be a moment, sometime down the road in another now moment, where we will turn around, look back and say, holy SHIT, we did it. We freaking did it. We shifted our consciousness, our light, our frequency in a physical form. That is no easy task, you guys. What we're doing is not easy. So please be gentle. Know that you're surrounded by beings of light, by your guides, by your higher self. You are guided, you are loved, you are held, you are supported. Regardless of whether you can hear them or not right now. And please honor what's coming up. Honor it. If you knew that if you dived deep into what was coming up, once again, talked to it, looked at it, felt it, experienced it, didn't judge it, just let it move. If you knew that if you did that, you'd get closer to your divinity, closer to serving humanity and the earth, closer to this aspect of you that is divine love, allowing you to live in more peace and abundance and flow and freedom and joy, all of that. Wouldn't you do it? Wouldn't you do it? I love you all so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching these videos of mine. I read all your comments. I don't have the time necessarily to respond to all of them, but I read every single comment. And I am honored and grateful for every single one of you who listens to this video and to any of the other videos. I'm honored to be on this path with you, to be connecting with you right now, to not feel so alone. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Pass this video along to anybody that would really benefit from hearing this right now. There are millions of us that are going through this, and many going through this alone. So to hear these messages allows the human to not feel so alone. So if you know anyone that would resonate with this, please pass the video along to them. I love you all. Take such good care of yourself. Remember the bigger picture, you guys. Remember the bigger picture. There's so much more happening behind the scenes that we're moving through. It's a gift. I love you all so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. Thank you for having the courage to walk this path. Thank you for having the courage to keep going no matter what is in front of you right now. You're doing it. You're still doing it. All right, I love you. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time. Bye.